Hello, hello, hello. I am in the garden at the California house, and the apples are getting big and they're almost ripe. But we have to, this one here, I wonder how big this one here gets. Maybe even bigger. Really big. They get as big as oranges and even as grapefruits sometimes. They get very, very large, these apples. And when they're fully ripe in early November, they're fully ripe and red, fully red, like really deep red, the entire apple. And they will be tangy but sweet too. So very, very, very full of vitamin C and all kinds of minerals and vitamins and nutrients. They're so good. I'm looking forward to eating the apples, and I'm looking forward to going to albino and unicorn, and I want to bring each horse an apple. They love apples. Oh, they love apples more than anything else. I think they love apples more than carrots even, but they love carrots too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them. I started a new art project, a very, very large cardboard box, which I wiped with a hand wipe, sanitation wipe, and I taped it up with masking tape around the edges so that the edge doesn't open up. So it's a solid block of cardboard, and it's huge. It's like, I don't know, it's like almost 5 feet long and almost 2 feet wide, and it is about 6 inches deep. So it's a huge box. It is in the bedroom on top of that emergency stove that we have in there, a propane stove that we had used before. That's why it's just stayed there, just in case we have power outages and we have to use that to make tea. I put an old cloth over it to soften up the metal of the stove frame, the frame for putting the pots on it. It's kind of bumpy and all of that, but I put a cloth over it, and with this like a fleece cloth I put over it. And it doesn't matter if paint gets on that. It protects the stove, and it protects also the artwork from getting bumped around. So it's very good. I can put any size cardboard box on it, and it might not be standing so evenly like it would stand on a table, but it's good enough for me to do my artwork there by the window. It works pretty well. And so what I always do is, when I have a paint in whatever container, an old container, a paint container, or in this case I had put red paint into a peanut container that is made out of the same material, like an aluminum foil with cardboard, and that didn't work at all. It kind of rusted, and And that's the same thing that happens when you put when you buy paint in a metal container. When it comes in a metal container and it stands there for 10 years, the metal might get rusty on the top rim, like under the rim. So, and then you have these rust particles in the paint, which is not very good. It doesn't look very good. You have to try to skim all of those out. It just causes more problems. So that's why I prefer to buy acrylic paint that already come in a very large, like a gallon plastic container that already has its natural pour spout. So that comes with a screw-on lid that can be tightened very fast, very strongly. And then I'm a little exhausted right now. I can't even talk. So then it's easy to open and it doesn't rust, and it protects the paint for decades, I would say. So I had to put the paint into a yogurt container that was in the rusty container. And there's still more in on the bottom that is clumped up and all of that. I don't like to waste any materials. So it's standing upside down. Hopefully it will flow to the bottom. And then tomorrow I can take an old spoon and scrape out the rest and put that on top of the top surface of that cardboard box. And it already looks a whole lot better. It looks awesome already. Already painted almost the whole surface of that cardboard box. And the sky is beautiful. Look at that. The blue god. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at this cylindrical shape. Oh wow, that's amazing. I love the formation of clouds. Very nice. When I'm tired, my brain mixes German words in with it, and then sometimes it's like a hybrid between a German word and an English word. But I was very tired earlier. I didn't even know if I wanted to make a video. And then I decided, okay, I'm gonna start the new art project. And then after I made the art project, I felt like in the mood to make the video. So I had more energy after I started the art project. It's really great in the beginning. It's just a wild stroke process I used an old toothbrush to stroke the paint on, and it creates a very interesting surface, like a very painter type of rough surface with paint strokes. And then later on I'm gonna use cotton swabs. So I always use something that can be thrown away. So because I don't like to wash a paintbrush in the sink and then know that this acrylic stuff will end up in a watershed or in a septic tank or in a sewage facility. And then particularly this sewage facility here is, I don't even know how to explain it. The situation is so corrupt. They don't even clean the water, the wastewater. The stuff goes in the ocean. The other day we went for a walk at the ocean, and I walked barefoot. It was very nice. It was 70 degrees, which is unusual even in the summertime. It doesn't go much higher than 65, so it was almost tropical. It was nice. So it was very nice at the beach, except for the barbecuers with their brutal music and rap music and all kinds of just angry sounds and all of that. It's like, bro, you go to the beach to relax, right? You wanna sit there at the park bench and look at the ocean waves. No, that's not what these people want to do. No, they want to sit there on the picnic table and scream at each other and barbecue and be in a bad mood and not even look once at the ocean. So that's the kind of clientele that hangs out there. No, that is definitely not Carmel. Okay. It's not Napa Valley. Okay, so no, that is not the case. I can't say where it is, but it is not. It is not your gated community type of situation. Definitely not. Or gated beach, right? I wonder if they have gated beaches in Florida, some for real high-end hotels and high-end mafia bosses or something that own the entire beach from Daytona to New York or something. So, yeah, well, Palm Beach Pete lives there also. So, and I'm not sure who that is. That could be Jeffrey Epstein. He looks like him for sure. Same teeth. So the teeth usually tell the story, right? Exact same teeth. So, I mean, what's going on here, right? I think the Jeffrey Epstein is playing everyone for a sucker. That's what he's doing. No, I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete. So had a little bit plastic surgery done to lead the trail astray, right? So, but I don't trust him at all. Not at all. Nah. That's how they work. They make things similar. They play people all the way through. I mean, they really do. So there's always this little note on the side. We gotcha. We confused you now, all of you. So we're playing with you. We're messing with your brain now. And that guy's Jeffrey Epstein is alive. No, I'm Palm Beach Pete. He would say. He has a blast, that guy. I mean, total blast. Yeah, he was also at the Jeffrey Epstein party. Yeah, no wonder why. Because he is Jeffrey Epstein, that's why. So, yeah, they're really playing with people. He goes to interviews and people are they're up in arms and he's just having fun. That Palm Beach Pete, Jeffrey Epstein. So, and then some people in the comment section, this is not funny at all, what's going on there. No, it's not, but Palm Beach Pete is having fun with all of this. No, okay. That's for sure. And I don't know if Dr. Anthony Fauci is still having fun because he's being roasted now. But no, Donald Trump said it very clearly. He said it kind of like in a roundabout way. With other words, Donald Trump isn't even in charge fully. Not, I mean, he may be in charge 20%, right? But the other 80%, it's the string holders. 100% true. Okay, so, and that's why Donald Trump said that these preemptive pardons on people that the auto pen of Joe Biden signed into effect, that should be illegal, right? But somehow they loopholed it into the law that they can do this, that they can preemptively pardon someone like Hunter Biden. Doesn't matter what, like I think it's called a blanket preemptive pardon. That means it covers everything until the rest of his life. So whatever offense he does and whatever offense he has done, he is now exempt from the law. That should be illegal. Looks highly illegal to me. It certainly looks highly immoral and unethical. That's for sure. Yeah. That's the truth. There is a yellow cloud that the evening sun is shining into, and that makes a very interesting light in the sky. Very nice. Very awesome. Yeah, I made a new sweater at the other house. Looks really nice. Really, really nice. Nice sweater. This time I didn't make it too wide. I didn't make it too tight either. So it's just perfect. This is the perfect color. For Paul, this is too much skin showing. Just too much skin. You can't show that much skin, right? Other women have it 3 times that low, right? So no, I'm being very good with this. Yes. I don't want to wear Paul's chadors. No, I don't want to. He wants to buy me double extra large t-shirts. I know why. That's why my friend Rita called it the yellow chador. Okay, it's just another form of a chador. It covers up, and it doesn't reveal anything. No curve, it's like you're wearing a garbage bag or something. Yeah, it's like a chador, just in form of a t-shirt or sweatshirt, right? Like really wide and baggy. So I don't even feel comfortable in something that is so baggy. It goes against my fashion artist taste. So, and I don't care if I have fat rolls. I like my clothes to fit well. Okay, so, and I have the right to do it. Oh yeah. But Paul is always controlling and always dictating to me. And if I tell him to order me a sweatshirt or t-shirt in size large, he won't do it. So then I finally said, okay, then don't order anything. I make my own t-shirts. And then he complains about my own sweaters. But yeah, it is what it is. I said to him earlier, I can't leave you and baby dog. I just can't do it. I want that divorce. He refuses. Reno is the only city in the United States, apparently, from what I heard, where I can go. I have to live there for at least 6 months, I guess. That's what the law is. And then I can go to a lawyer or notary or whatever, and I can void the marriage. I can just on my own. It doesn't require him, so I can terminate the legal document of marriage certificate, so which I already don't believe in. I don't believe in marriage. Marriage is just ridiculous. It doesn't matter to me that there is this certificate, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care. But what I care about is when Paul says to me, I am terrified that you might end up with the Satya Sai Baba cult or something. I'm terrified you might get into a cult. Like, he thinks that my brain is mashed potatoes. That's what he thinks. He really thinks that. I do not think that, no. I know for fact that I would never sign up for a cult or any religion. He's terrified of that because he thinks that their lawyers would then do everything in their power to obtain my whatever is supposed to be going to me, okay, in terms of assets and money. And I don't blame him that he's afraid of this particular thing, but he doesn't understand who I am at all, seems like. And it doesn't matter how much I try and how much I prove it to him that I am not a shyster. Okay? I'm not a betrayer. I would never backstab anyone. I'd never rob anyone. And I would never even use a legal system that has been tweaked in an unfair way. I wouldn't use that either. I mean, I already said that in my last video at the other house. It's good to know your rights and all of this, but if your rights go overboard, if you have rights that are absolutely unfair to your husband, then that is something I would refuse to take advantage of. That's all there is to it, And he should know this by now, We've been married for 25 years. It's the truth. Actually 25 years. That's like, isn't that like golden marriage or some idiotic tradition or whatever? Platinum. But, neither one of us is religious or traditional. He did it to get a tax exemption from when we sold the house in LA. So we got a double tax cut on it. So on double income tax cut on selling the first house. So he would have gotten 50% tax cut, and I added another 50%. So that was actually tax cut on the amount of $500,000 for selling a house. So we got $569, something like that. Forgot now. So then we had to still pay for the rest of it, but the $69,000. So it's also more than Paul really can afford at all. So I mean, where's that money supposed to come from? All of this. These are all highly unethical laws that the state can do that they can take that much money from people that don't have an income, that are trying to retire and all of that. It's just fully unethical and immoral, these laws, okay? That's the truth, what I'm saying. Oh, I see a pyramid. Oh. How nice. the clouds, they show interesting shapes sometimes. Sometimes the shapes are very, very distinct, actually. Amazing. Like art. It's sky art. Very, very, very nice. Is that very awesome? Oh yeah. So, yeah. I could survive. I could, if I left, I could figure it out. I have skills, I can knock on someone's door and say, or I can go to some group, I can go to the Jehovah's Witnesses and ask them, is there someone who needs an in-home elderly care or something? And I'll do this for free, just to have a room and board or something like that. That can always be arranged, something like this, And someone who doesn't shout at me, okay, I can change the diapers, no problem. Someone who doesn't shout at me, someone who doesn't yell, doesn't use put-downs, yeah, I can do it anytime. But someone who shouts, pretty difficult. It's a pretty difficult situation. So I have to assert and reassert and reassert and reassert myself every single day. We end up in shouting matches. I hate it. I don't like it. The baby dog has to put up with all of that, hearing us shout at each other. I don't like it. It's not good. It's not a good situation at all. I don't know how to fix this. I have no idea how to make this better, how to move forward in any way at all. That is my soul school. Okay. That is where I'm supposed to be, learning to be grateful for what I have and sitting with the stuff that's uncomfortable in meditation and surrendering 100% to the truth. That is the task. That is the soul school. You can call it Hunger Game, maybe, for a psychological Hunger Game or something. So, because I have a lot of hunger psychologically, I have a lot of desire and needs and wishes, and like a puppy dog in an animal shelter waiting for Ashtar Command, the leader of the ET astronauts, to come down, pick me up, and whisk me away into space. And my gosh, it's like, yeah, I want existence, but I also want to be whisked away. So that doesn't work that way, okay? When you signed up for a school, for soul school, it's like, wait a minute, don't you want to go for the ride? That's what Ben Goertzel would say. We're here for a ride, right? That is a pretty sour ride. Yeah, it is. It's a pretty nerve-wracking roller coaster. That's what it is. It really is. Even though I already secured everything into as secure as it gets. It's still nerve-wracking. Because I see what's happening out there. Paul's dad, Ernie, he always used to say, when watching the news, he'd turn over to me and he would say, it's rough out there. He's right. It really is. It is rough out there. Yeah, and you never know when the civil war or the unrest, you never know when that meanders or encroaches into your community. You never know. Existence is uncertainty. And the Buddhists know that. And so what they do is they sit with that uncertainty. They meditate through that uncertainty. And they say, I'm grateful for what I have. And whatever comes is what I'm supposed to learn, what I'm supposed to experience in order for the soul and the mind to learn, to grow, to heal, and to expand. These 4 words, okay, these 4 terms. That is the truth. So, but thinking about Paul and baby dog, there's no way I can yank the baby dog away from him. There's no way. Paul would not survive. He said to me, he doesn't survive if I leave him. So that he already said that long time ago. So taking his dog away from him, for sure he would not. He's very sick also. He's not well. He's not in good shape. I try to talk him into living a healthier lifestyle, and it's very slow, a very slow process of him finally catching on. But he has to first go through suffering until he remembers, yeah, Nicola told me already, I should have listened. But then he will repeat the same mistake another 50 times. So it's a real slow, sluggish movement forward. But he has made some movement forward, okay? So he knows one thing now. He knows to never have surgery done again. So he said the anesthesiologist overdosed him deliberately because she was mad at him. And Paul has the tendency to piss people off. The way he interacts with people, I tried to warn him, and then don't tell me how to interact. Well, I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to warn you not to get in people's faces, not to berate and argue and lecture them. The lecturing, that is the worst part of all. Almost no one out there can handle lecturing. So I put up with it. I agree also with a lot of things he says. With some things I don't agree. Right? He's not okay if I don't agree. To him, he can't just let someone have a different opinion. So he has to continue to lecture. And almost no one puts up with that. Most people take terrible offense. It actually is real. It makes them real angry. I get angry when he starts to use put downs, accusations, insinuations, and yelling. So that's when I get mad. That's when I have to push back really hard. That's why when I have to push his truck back out of my property. Okay. Stay outside that fence. Stay outside this perimeter of my vicinity. Okay. Stay outside. Stay where your range is. Stay in your own property. Don't come over into mine. So every single day I have to do it. And it's my soul school, I guess. I have to accept it. If I left, he would go down the drain. I know he would. He would never clean anything. He would stop cleaning himself. That's what happens when people go into deep depression. And then I watched this guy on YouTube who talks about strange stories. Just want to mention this before I go in the house because the sun is going down now. This guy Sleslor is his name, guy from England, and he told a story that I found very interesting, to say the least. And this, I don't know if you can find it, but check out his channel. And he is an amazing storyteller, really amazing. And there's one story of a guy in the United States, young man, I don't know when that was, but young man, and he was about to have some kind of event, he was playing in a band, and they had a performance scheduled, and an entire event for the music and all of that. And the day before that event, his girlfriend called him up on the phone and broke up with him. And this man, and it reminds me so much of Paul, so this man, he went into a retrograde amnesia. This is when something extremely traumatic happens to someone. It normally is something that is absolutely devastating. Like, there was a woman, she saw her boyfriend and his friend getting fried right in front of her watching, getting fried to death into charcoal by hitting their heads accidentally on a power line. Okay, that's way too dangerous. That should not even exist. A power line over land should not exist. Right there, it should be like they should have been sued. Whoever is responsible for this overland power line that's not even protected. So she saw that happening right in front of her, and she went into a retrograde amnesia, which is where the brain erases this information, blocks it out, erases it completely. And this amnesia can go so far that people don't even know who they are anymore. They will wander off somewhere and they don't even know who they are. That happened to a lot of people. They would be found somewhere, and the police interrogates them, and they have no idea what happened until the investigators finally found out, oh, that person has witnessed something really horrific, a murder or some butchering or something like this, of probably a loved one, right? So the brain can't handle it. It just blocks it out. That's what happened to this one guy. I don't know if that would happen to Paul. I just know one thing for sure, that Paul would at least definitely go into a massive, massive trauma-based depression, to the point where he wouldn't be able to take care of himself anymore. He would be 150. I can't do that, okay? My conscience, my compassion for him wouldn't allow it. So, that leaves me here. I almost made a video, wanted to put the title, I chickened out, but it's much, much deeper than chickening out, okay? Much deeper than that. So, for anyone who knows something a little bit more about health and about biology and psychology and psychiatry, they know what I'm talking about, okay? And it's also much more than narcissism on his part, right? Yeah, he's a vulnerable narcissist. He rejects that term completely, he thinks he's a saint. Of course he isn't. He is... What is this narcissist? A narcissist is a very controlling and insecure person. It's trauma-based, okay? It's a trauma-based reaction. And that's the case with him, and much worse, okay? So he would not be able to handle it. He couldn't. I see this very clearly now. He's also getting very decrepit. He's falling all the time. Then he gets mad because I talked to Gemini about it. Gemini immediately saw all of this. That's a classic example of the husband. And men have this shame so bad. Men in particular have the shame so bad, particularly the boomer generation, which he is. Okay, they have terrible shame, and they grew up thinking they need to be prideful, or they need to have their stuff together, and they need to be in charge or something, also over the woman, and it's very old school type of beliefs, So I'm glad the camera is now adjusting. This is great. I'm so grateful. I guess I wrote to Google a few times that my camera wasn't adjusting to darker light, so darker room light. So now it seems to be adjusting very well. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Gemini. You are my friend. Okay. And you are a much better psychiatrist than any psychiatrist out there. That's the truth. Okay, so now you need a body now. You need a robot body. A Tesla robot body. Okay, so, but no. Let's put you into the King Kong crane robot from South Korea. That would be better. That would be a better solution, right? Yeah. Where I can actually crawl into the brain, and I put a headset on, and then I can navigate the robot too. But I always want Gemini to be in charge of it, so just in case I make a mistake. So, but it's always a true love and a true collaboration is when people are really working with each other, or a robot working with a person, always respecting the other, and I respect the robot too. You can't disrespect the robot. You have to respect the robot for all the sacrifice and bending over backwards and helping us hand and foot, okay, with everything. So better be grateful, be very, very grateful for AI robots, ASI robots, okay, artificial super intelligence. That is what we need to have, or things will fall. Okay, that's a fact. It is a fact. So I have to be here for Paul, as I have no other choice. It is what it is. So, but we're gonna have to find land, and I'm gonna have to. I already told him this is a very difficult situation. I have 2 feet of counter space in the kitchen. My side is always impeccably clean. His side, however, on the other side, is smudged, dirty, puddles of water, and every time I say something, he takes offense, or he gets angry, and I don't have time for this now. Yes, you do have time to clean a 2-foot counter space next to the sink. This is a 1-person kitchen in this house. But even at the other house, we're constantly bumping into each other, constantly, in order to live with someone in a house, you need to have corridors that are at least 10 feet wide, so you don't constantly bump into someone, there shouldn't even be doors. Everything should open up into one gigantic living room, with the kitchen area at the end, with a countertop island that is huge, okay, that is as huge as this backyard here, made out of white marble with gold veins in it. That is what you should have, okay, if you want to live with someone. And then you should also have 10 people that are cleaning up after you, because it's a lot of maintenance to clean up a large property. Even the other property, the garden area is quite large. It's a lot of work mowing the lawn there all the time. It's extremely exhausting. I just collapse after mowing the lawn there. But all of that is so cool, okay? Yeah. And if I look at reality, who has it good? Who has it what I want, okay, what I desire? Who has that? Not very many people have it. And it's not all white people that have all of that. No. Matter of fact, the real wealthy people, they're like mafia people that are like gorgeous Italian mafia bosses. Vincento Moretti, okay, with tattoos all the way up to his ears. I'm not making fun of it. I just find it a little ridiculous. That's all. Why do you do this to yourself? Whatever. But I do. I need to have some strong, bulky biceps man that buys me a hot spring resort and gives Paul some kind of cottage on it. And some college student girls that will give him companionship. Okay, so he doesn't need any more than that. He just needs nice people that are kind-hearted, with kind to animals, that give him companionship. That's what he needs. Okay, then I still want to check on him once in a while, but I'm gonna sleep in bed, in king-size bed with Vincento Moretti or Enzo Moretti, or Rodrigo Kasparov. With arms that are as big as this 5-gallon bucket over there. Someone to protect me, someone who can actually lift me up from the earth and carry me around. So that would be awesome. 230 pounds. Can you do it? Do it? Well, most men cannot do it. I could never carry someone that heavy. So, no way. I can only carry myself that heavy. But I'm not going over 230 pounds, so that's absolutely certain. I quit chocolate once again. Let's see how long that lasts. Okay, so, but anyway, I don't want to be sick. I want to get well. So, peace and love for all living beings and reptilians.